When you have no contact with a narcissist, you give them what they ask for. Have you ever felt trapped in a relationship where your worth is constantly questioned and your emotional needs are ignored? If you're with a narcissist, this might sound all too familiar. Narcissists thrive on control and admiration, and their manipulative tactics can leave you feeling drained. But when you decide to go no contact, you might be doing something that, paradoxically, gives them exactly what they want. Narcissists need constant validation. Their self-worth is fragile and relies heavily on the approval of others. They manipulate those around them to fulfill their emotional needs, which is why they might often appear charming at first. However, over time, their behavior becomes demanding and exhausting. The moment you decide to cut them off, you're no longer feeding their need for validation, and that's precisely what they fear. You might be wondering how going no contact could give a narcissist what they want. The answer lies in their need for control. Narcissists thrive in relationships where they have power over their partners. By cutting ties, you are no longer under their control. This loss of control disturbs them. Their world revolves around dominance and manipulation. So when you refuse to play along, you challenge their sense of superiority. For a narcissist, rejection is deeply uncomfortable. They can't handle the thought of someone walking away, especially when it's because of their toxic behavior. So, when you cut contact, it forces them to confront the reality that they can no longer dictate your emotions or actions. The paradox here is that the narcissist, who seeks constant admiration, ends up feeling isolated and unimportant when you disappear from their life. Narcissists are often very good at maintaining an image of perfection, using charm and charisma to attract others. But once they feel they've secured someone, their true, manipulative nature begins to emerge. They expect to be the center of attention, and they demand constant admiration. When you go no contact, you take away the attention they crave, forcing them to confront their emptiness and reliance on others for validation. The act of cutting someone off may seem like a punishment to a narcissist, but it's actually a shield for your emotional well-being. Narcissists are emotionally immature, often unable to care about anyone other than themselves. Their actions are self-centered, and they view others as tools to serve their ego. Going no contact denies them access to you as a tool for boosting their sense of importance, which is exactly what they hate. In a narcissistic relationship, you might find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, trying to keep the peace and avoid triggering their anger. This is because narcissists often manipulate situations to maintain control. When you go no contact, you stop participating in this unhealthy dynamic. For a narcissist, this lack of interaction challenges their perception of control, making them uncomfortable and forcing them to find another outlet for their energy. When you walk away from a narcissist, it's not just about removing yourself physically from their life. Going no contact means that you also emotionally detach, refusing to engage with their manipulation. This breaks the cycle of emotional abuse they've likely subjected you to. Without your emotional responses, they lose the power they once had over your feelings, which is their greatest source of control. Going no contact also takes away a narcissist's ability to gaslight you. Gaslighting is a common tactic used by narcissists to manipulate and control their victims by distorting reality. When you remain in contact, they may try to confuse you, make you doubt yourself, or rewrite history to suit their narrative. No contact strips them of this ability, forcing them to face the truth of their own actions. One of the hardest aspects of going no contact is that narcissists will often try to manipulate your feelings of guilt. They may accuse you of abandoning them or being cruel. This is an attempt to regain control over you emotionally. But remember, guilt is one of their weapons. They want you to feel responsible for their well-being, but you are not obligated to sacrifice your own happiness for their toxic needs. When you go no contact, the narcissist may try to hoover you back into their life. This is a tactic where they attempt to lure you back through promises of change or manipulation. They might send you texts that seem apologetic or make false promises to do better. Don't fall for these attempts. They are not genuine expressions of remorse. They are simply strategies to regain their control over you. It's important to recognize that a narcissist will never truly change unless they make a conscious effort to seek help. Narcissistic personality disorder is a deeply ingrained pattern of behavior that requires professional therapy to address. While they may apologize or say the right things in the moment, their actions rarely align with their words. The only way to stop their manipulative behaviors is to remove yourself from the equation entirely. Narcissists often thrive on the chaos they create in their relationships. The emotional highs and lows they generate feed their sense of power and control. When you decide to go no contact, you remove yourself from their emotional roller coaster. Without your reactions to fuel their drama, they're forced to deal with their own inner turmoil, which they typically try to avoid at all costs. You may experience intense feelings of loneliness or guilt in the early stages of no contact, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship with a narcissist. They may have made you feel like you couldn't survive without them. But the truth is, you are far stronger than you realize. Cutting them off is an act of self-care, not an act of cruelty. You're prioritizing your own mental health and well-being, which is crucial for healing. Going no contact gives you the space to regain your emotional strength and rediscover who you are. Narcissistic relationships often lead to the erosion of self-worth, as the narcissist constantly demands attention and places their needs above yours. Once you remove yourself from the equation, you can begin to rebuild your identity, free from the constant pressure and manipulation of the narcissist. The narcissist will likely try to manipulate others around you into reaching out to you on their behalf. This is another common tactic used to re-establish control. They may contact mutual friends, family members, or even coworkers to create doubt or sympathy for them. It's important to stay firm in your decision and not allow anyone to convince you to re-engage. You've made a choice for your own peace and well-being. Once you've gone no contact, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your mental and emotional state. You might find that you no longer feel anxious or on edge all the time. Your self-esteem, which was likely battered by the narcissist, may begin to improve. Slowly but surely, the fog they created will lift, allowing you to see yourself for who you truly are, not the reflection they projected onto you. It's crucial to stay consistent in your decision to go no contact, even if the narcissist tries to reach out. Whether through text, emails, or even social media, they will test your resolve. They might try to make you feel guilty or convince you that you're wrong. But remember, their goal is to regain control over you. Stand firm and remind yourself why you made this decision in the first place: to protect your emotional health. The longer you stay no contact, the easier it will become to detach emotionally. Narcissists thrive on keeping you emotionally invested in them, but once you break free, their hold over you weakens. Over time, the emotional dependency you once had on them will fade, and you'll realize that you are far better off without their toxicity in your life. The narcissist's response to no contact will vary. Some may escalate their tactics, using more intense forms of manipulation or even aggression to try to get you to return. Others might resort to a silent treatment or withdrawal. But the important thing to remember is that none of these reactions are personal. They are simply strategies to regain control. By not engaging, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing your response. If you're struggling with guilt during the no-contact period, remind yourself that you're not abandoning the narcissist because they need help. You're walking away because their behaviors are toxic, and they refuse to acknowledge their harm. You've given them enough chances to change, and now it's time for you to prioritize your own mental and emotional well-being. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Going no contact can also provide clarity. When you're no longer under the narcissist influence, you'll be able to see the relationship more clearly. The fog that was created by their manipulation will lift, and you'll begin to see the toxic patterns that were present. This clarity will allow you to make better decisions for your future and avoid falling into similar situations. The narcissist may also try to turn others against you. They might spread lies or manipulate mutual connections to make you appear as the villain. This is a tactic used to isolate you and regain control. But the truth is, their lies are just that, lies. Stay focused on your healing and don't let their attempts to smear your name affect your self-worth. You know the truth, As you continue with no contact, you may find yourself grieving the loss of the relationship. This is normal, and it's part of the healing process. Even though the narcissist was abusive, you might still mourn the person you once hoped they could be. Allow yourself to grieve, but don't let that grief bring you back into the relationship. Remember, their behaviors were toxic, and you're better off without them. Going no contact means you're no longer allowing the narcissist to occupy space in your mind. For too long, they may have been the center of your thoughts, influencing your emotions and decisions. But now you're taking back that mental space and focusing on yourself. This shift is incredibly powerful. It's your chance to heal, grow, and rediscover what it means to live without their toxic presence. Healing from a narcissistic relationship takes time, but each day that you stay no contact is a step closer to reclaiming your life. You will begin to feel stronger, more confident, and more in control of your emotions. The narcissist no longer has the ability to dictate how you feel or how you see yourself. You are free from their manipulation, and with that freedom comes the opportunity for true self-discovery. One of the benefits of no contact is that it forces the narcissist to confront their own feelings of emptiness and insecurity. When they no longer have access to you for validation, they must face the reality of their inner void. This is something they usually avoid by distracting themselves with other people or external validation. No contact takes away their distraction, making them face their own demons. While you may feel guilty or second-guess your decision in the beginning, with time you'll realize just how necessary this break is. You've endured the narcissist's abuse, and now it's time to heal. No contact is a crucial step in reclaiming your power, and every day that you stay firm in your decision, you're taking back control over your life. You no longer have to answer to anyone but yourself. The no-contact rule is not just for healing, it's for creating boundaries. Narcissists are adept at pushing boundaries, often testing how much they can get away with. When you go no contact, you're drawing a clear line that they cannot cross. This is a powerful statement that you no longer tolerate their toxic behavior. Boundaries are essential for self-respect and emotional protection. It's important to remember that the narcissist may try to manipulate your perception of reality. They may convince you that you're being too harsh or selfish. But the truth is, by cutting them off, you're taking a stand for your emotional health. You're protecting yourself from further harm. Don't let their manipulation make you doubt your decision. Your peace of mind is worth more than their approval. Over time, you'll begin to notice positive changes in your life. With the narcissist out of the picture, you'll feel lighter, more at ease, and more in control. Relationships with others will feel more balanced and fulfilling. You'll realize that you don't need the narcissist's approval or validation to feel good about yourself. You've reclaimed your independence and sense of self. Narcissists rely on constant attention and admiration to feel validated. When you go no contact, you deny them this fuel. This loss forces them to confront their inner emptiness. And while it may not be immediately apparent, this is a significant blow to their fragile ego. It's a reminder that their need for validation is never truly satisfied, no matter how many people they manipulate. By maintaining no contact, you demonstrate that you value yourself enough to protect your emotional health. Narcissists will often try to convince you that you're being unreasonable or that you don't understand them. But you do understand. You understand that their behavior is toxic, and you're no longer willing to tolerate it. Your decision to go no contact is an act of self-respect. Eventually, you'll stop caring about the narcissist's opinion of you. You'll begin to see them for who they truly are, someone who is incapable of genuine love or empathy. This realization is liberating. The hold they had over you will weaken as you regain your emotional independence. No contact allows you to rebuild your life, free from their influence and manipulation. Healing from a narcissistic relationship isn't linear. There will be ups and downs, moments when you doubt your decision or miss the connection you once had. However, remember that these feelings are temporary. With time, you'll start to realize that life without the narcissist's manipulation is much more peaceful. The sense of relief you'll feel is one of the greatest gifts of going no contact. The longer you stay no contact, the more clearly you'll see the dysfunction in your past relationship. Narcissists thrive on chaos, and their behavior often keeps you in a constant state of uncertainty. Once you cut them off, that chaos fades. You'll begin to recognize how manipulative and harmful their actions truly were, which will only reinforce your decision to keep them out of your life. Narcissists often struggle with abandonment. When you go no contact, it sends a clear message. You are no longer available for their emotional games. They will likely try to regain their control, but as you remain firm, their tactics will lose their power. This shift in dynamics is a significant moment of empowerment for you. You're no longer their pawn. You might be tempted to question your decision when the narcissist reaches out, especially if they use guilt or charm to get you back. Remember, their behavior is driven by a need to control, not genuine affection. They have not changed, and their attempts to re-establish contact are just another form of manipulation. Stay strong, and remind yourself why you went no contact in the first place. Over time, you'll realize that going no contact wasn't just about cutting off a toxic person. It was about reclaiming your emotional autonomy and protecting yourself from further harm. You'll start to experience emotional freedom, where your thoughts and feelings are no longer dictated by the narcissist whims. You'll rediscover a sense of peace that you may have long forgotten. Going no contact also gives you the space to reflect on the relationship you had with the narcissist. You'll see how much energy you spent trying to please them or fix their behavior, often at the cost of your own happiness. No contact allows you to step back and gain perspective on the situation. It helps you understand that the problem wasn't you, it was their toxic behavior. During the no contact period, you may find that you're able to focus on your own needs and goals again. Narcissistic relationships often require so much emotional energy that it's hard to focus on anything else. But without the narcissist presence in your life, you can redirect that energy towards self-care, personal growth, and building healthy relationships with others who respect and value you. By going no contact, you're not just ending a relationship, you're ending a cycle of emotional abuse. Narcissistic abuse is insidious, and it can take years for you to realize how deeply it has affected you. No contact is a powerful tool to break that cycle. It's a way to stop the narcissist from continuing to hurt you and start healing from the damage they've caused. Going no contact can sometimes feel like an act of betrayal to the narcissist. They may accuse you of being selfish or cold-hearted, but don't let these accusations affect you. The truth is, you're doing what's necessary to protect yourself. Their selfishness has kept you emotionally trapped for too long. Now, you're taking back your life. Once you go no contact, you'll begin to notice that your feelings of guilt and confusion start to fade. These emotions were products of the narcissist's manipulation, designed to make you doubt yourself. As you strengthen your boundaries and stay firm in your decision, you'll feel more confident in your ability to make decisions that are in your best interest. The absence of the narcissist in your life can provide clarity. You might start to realize how much of your energy and time was consumed by trying to meet their needs. Without them, you're free to pursue your own passions, dreams, and aspirations. Going no contact is your opportunity to reconnect with yourself and rediscover the joy and fulfillment that you once lost. Even though the narcissist may try to play the victim or make you feel guilty, understand that these tactics are not signs of genuine love or regret. They are tools they use to regain power. Don't let their manipulations affect your decision. Stay strong, knowing that by going no contact, you're protecting yourself from further harm and ensuring that your future is free from their toxicity. Eventually, you'll come to a place where you no longer think about the narcissist as often. The emotional pull they once had on you will weaken, and you'll begin to heal from the trauma they caused. No contact provides the distance you need to gain perspective and clarity. It's the first step towards emotional recovery and building a life free from their toxic influence. As time goes on, the impact of the narcissist's manipulation will diminish. You'll start to see just how much of their behavior was designed to control and isolate you. The more you detach emotionally, the more you'll realize that you don't need their validation to feel whole. Your self-worth is not tied to their approval. You are enough, just as you are. Healing after a narcissistic relationship takes time, but with no contact, you'll feel empowered to take control of your life again. You'll rediscover the joy of having healthy relationships and the freedom to be your authentic self. The narcissist no longer has a hold over you, and you are free to move forward, stronger and wiser than before. In conclusion, no contact isn't about punishing the narcissist. It's about reclaiming your power and protecting your emotional well-being. By going no contact, you're taking back control over your life, healing from the damage caused, and ensuring that you never again allow someone to manipulate or control you. Stay strong, and remember, you deserve peace, love, and respect, and no one should take that from you.